Hello, everybody. This is Zemanon, coach of the New Haven Charizards, and we are back with our Week 4 matchup in the LDL Majors division. We are going up against Los Benitez and his Iowa Cubchoos. Now, we faced these Cubchoos in the LDL off season, actually Week 1, and we lost that match 1-0. And it was like I jokingly said it like it was a win because of how bad our team was that we lost by that little. But he was he's a very good coach, and he has an incredibly offensive team that was hard for me to prep for this week. So I'll just run through it real quickly. He has Mega Alakazam, Jirachi, Hydreigon, Raikou, Sylveon, Staraptor, Rotom-Mow, Blastoise, Weezing, Sawk, and Rhydon. So some of those offensive threats like Alakazam, Hydreigon, Raikou, Staraptor, it's tough. Like I really don't know either way what he's potentially bringing or what sets. And so I guess he has Gastron. He dropped it at this point. I'm looking at his current team right now, so he dropped Gastron for Blastoise. That's what I assume. So you see Blastoise there you see let me say it again. You see a Gastron there because as of Week 4, he did have the Gastron. But now, in Week 7, as I'm looking at his roster, it's a Blastoise. So I'll run through my team. Z-Move Mimikyu, I think it's the best way to run it. Play Rough, Shadow Claw, Shadow Sneak, and Woodhammer. Woodhammer was for the Gastrodon. The Weavile is Expert Belt, Icicle Crash, Knockoff, Pursuit, and Ice Shard. Just trying to, he really didn't. I thought double Dark and double Ice was very good coverage against his team. He didn't have a lot to do against it. Choice Scarfed Galvantula to outplay any of his potential choice Scarfers like the Jirachi or the Rotom-Mow that could do damage to those before they hit me. And that was Volt Switch, Thunder, Bug Buzz, Giga Drain. Now my Fortress, I'm bringing Fortress with Stealth Rock, Rapid Spin, Gyro Ball, Volt Switch. I wish I had like Spikes or something like that, but I wanted to have Rapid Spin because I don't have Tornadus this week, so I don't have my Defogger on the team, so that's why I have Rapid Spin instead of Spikes. And I was Akaberry to survive those fire hits, so it's just going to come in handy. Swampert with Leftovers, Earth Power, Ice Beam, Scald, and Toxic. And then our Arcanine, we're continuing running fun sets with them of Choice Banded Arcanine with Close Combat, Flare Blitz, Iron Head, and Extreme Speed. So when I saw this, I was happy that he didn't bring the Sylveon because that means I didn't need to lock myself into Iron Head on the Arcanine, and I knew Choice Banded Flare Blitz would do a lot to his team, and even Choice Banded Extreme Speed if things were low would be pretty good here. But yeah, I noticed he dropped Porygon too, which is Porygon 2-2. I'm gonna say so, which is very so. Yeah, I'm sorry that these are all out of order. But so he doesn't have Porygon anymore, but he did at the time. I promise. He's gonna lead with his Rotom-Mow as I lead with Fortress. Probably not the best lead, but considering my Swampert did not have Stealth Rocks this week, this was the mon I had to go with if I wanted to get rocks up. Volt Switch does a lot of damage. I was very confused. I thought he was like Choice Specs or something like that. It turns out Fortress is just trash. His special defense is that bad because I was very confused with how much damage that did. But here I'll get my Stealth Rocks up turn 1, and there's nothing stopping me from getting it up. He does Hidden Power Fire on his Porygon, which I was not expecting. But thankfully we had the Akaberry, and we live. It really doesn't do anything because the Fortress is dead weight anyway now that he's set up rocks and he doesn't have Spikes. Like I much would have preferred to go for Spikes that turn over Volt Switch, but I didn't have it. And in comes the Swampert. So I go for Toxic, and it misses, which, definitely is a little unfortunate. But there's 90% accuracy, I guess. Nothing I can do about it. Just would have been nice to get a little bit more damage onto the onto the Porygon there every turn. In comes the Fortress, so I can just sack it off to the Tri-Attack. I thought that's what he was going to go for, but he actually doesn't go for that. He actually switches. He doubles into, or it's not a double, because Porygon was out already, but he switches into the Rotom. If I stayed in, I would have got a Toxic off on the Rotom, but I did not. So, unfortunately, Fortress has to go down. All he did was set up Stealth Rocks and do like 4 damage with a Volt Switch crit. But, you know what? He did his job. He's got Rocks up. Everything's going to get whittled down a little bit when they switch onto the field. And he's not going to switch it out, or he's not going to defog unless he has defog on Rotom or Staraptor. So I bring in my Arcanine. Obviously, that's my best answer to whatever Jirachi wants to go for. And even though I understand he's probably going to switch out, I still think Flare Blitz is really strong. It turns out it's strong against everything except for Gastrodon, because that does nothing. And he has Rocky Helmet. That's 2 weeks in a row that there's some bulky water Pokemon with Rocky Helmet on my opponent's team that's really causing me troubles. So I switch out into the Swampert so I can Toxic it. And look at this tech. He brought Yawn Gastrodon, which I thought was really awesome. That was a very smart bring on his end, because now I have to decide with Swampert, am I going to let myself go to sleep or am I going to switch out? And I decide... excuse me, I decide that poisoning our Gastrodon is much more important than making sure Swampert stays awake. And I know this Gastrodon's not going to do much to me to like, I have the turns if this Gastrodon stays in for a while to eventually wake up on Swampert, so I'm not really worried about it. Maybe I should have switched in to the Mimikyu since I do have Wood Hammer, or into Galvantula since I have Giga Drain. But I thought the Toxic was really important there, and it could have been a misplay, but we'll never know. I'm asleep that turn. I have to stay asleep, obviously, as that was my first turn after being put to sleep. And I'm just gonna stay in. I think I just go for, Earth Powers. It doesn't matter because I'm still asleep. Whatever move I can hit, but I just see that's turn 2 here, and he sets up the Stealth Rocks on his end. So now I know the Jirachi is not Choice Scarfed, which is nice for my Galvantula doesn't have to worry about it in case I get knocked off or something. He goes for U-turn into Rotom-Mow, and I get 3 turns of sleep. So if I went for Earth Power, it doesn't matter. If I went for Scald, it would have done a little bit of damage, so it's not that big of a deal. It's just more annoying than anything else, honestly. And I know he's gonna go for the Giga Drain here, or the Leaf Storm, so I have to switch out. I didn't have great Leaf Storm switch-ins, which really hurt my team, especially now that Stealth Rocks is up with the Arcanine, because he takes Stealth Rocks plus Leaf Storm. And I was like, all right, Galvantula, you got to do it. Now here, I legitimately misclicked on my screen. I went for Bug Buzz, and Giga Drain was right next to it. And if you look in game, Bug Buzz and Giga Drain are both green attacks. And as I was trying to think, I clicked the wrong green attack. I know they're not the same shade of green, but in the moment I got tripped up, which really stinks because I would have loved to do Bug Buzz damage there, but it actually worked out because with the amount of health I recovered with Giga Drain, I actually survive re-entry in with the from the Stealth Rocks. I survived Stealth Rocks where I wouldn't have if I didn't Giga Drain. So this is what I should have done much earlier. I should have went into the Weavile immediately against the Porygon when I switched out on turn 2 with Volt Switch and pressured knockoff onto either the Porygon 2 or something else. Like if Gastrodon wanted to come in, I would knock off the Rocky Helmet. Like that, I misplayed hard on turn 2. And the reason I didn't go into it is because I had Extra Belt instead of Life Orb. So I'm like, well, I'm not doing any extra damage because knockoff's not super effective. So that, like, I can say wholeheartedly was a misplay, but our boy Dince gets a crit. So he is actually able to take down the Gastrodon, and Gastrodon takes us out thanks to the Rocky Helmet there. I go into Arcanine because I thought that was the best answer for me right now. I wanted to keep Mimikyu healthy, and at this point, remember, I still think that Rotom is is choice Specs because of the damage he was doing earlier, and he keeps switching out. It turns out he is choice Scarf, which really hurts us, and that's just a great bring on our opponent's end. There's just there was nothing I could really do to stop that. I took all that extra damage. I don't think a Choice Bandit Extreme Speed would have knocked out there. I don't think I calced for it at the time because I thought I was faster. But he was at 50% health. I'm not sure if Extreme Speed would have knocked out. But I go for the Flare Blitz now into Porygon, and because of all that extra damage we took from that darn Rotom-Mow, we knock ourselves out with Flare Blitz recoil damage. So Swampert comes in, and I know I'm going to wake up on this turn, but I'm not going to get the chance because he has the Rotom. So obviously this Leaf Storm is just going to knock me out here. And I'm down to Mimikyu versus the world. The critical hit obviously didn't matter. If I was Rindoberry, maybe I live. I still don't think I live, honestly, because this Rotom is just so strong. Here's Galvantula. Okay. So Galvantula lives on Stealth Rocks. I forgot I had 2 Pokemon left. He switches it out to reset his special attack, which is smart. And I'm just gonna lock into Bug Buzz because that hit the Rotom. It's the only thing I have that hits Jirachi neutrally. And now I know that he's since he's not faster than me, I'm able to get 2 Bug Buzzes off before he can hit me and knock me out with the U-turn. So he's got Jirachi, Rotom-Mow, Staraptor, and Mega Alakazam. And we haven't seen those last 2 Pokemon at all in this matchup. Now, I'm down to Mimikyu. I have my Disguise, and this is where I regret not having Swords Dance or maybe Substitute or something like that on my Mimikyu and putting the Wood Hammer in that slot. So if I go up to +2, theoretically, as I break my Disguise, even if I was Choice Band or something like that, I don't know what would have happened. But if he didn't break my Disguise and I got a boost up, Jirachi is low enough for Shadow Sneak to knock it out. A +2 Shadow Sneak knocks out Alakazam. And then obviously a +2 Play Rough or Shadow Claw would knock out the Rotom-Mow. So since I'm not in that situation, I decided just to go for the Z move with the guaranteed damage. Play Rough would have knocked out, but I didn't want to take the risk of missing because at this point I knew it was over. I knew I lost. So I went for the guaranteed damage to make it a 3-0 instead of a 4-0. Rotom-Mow goes down. Again, great bring by him, great prep on his end with the Choice Scarf and with the Rocky Helmet on the Gastrodon and stuff. I have nothing to say. And here's where it wouldn't have mattered anyway, because my Disguise was broken. If it wasn't broken, then I could have potentially won. But this Brave Bird, he's faster than me. Nothing I can do. I can't Shadow Sneak a normal type, right? And he knocks me out. So if he wasn't Choice Scarfed and I went for that Z move, then who knows what would have happened. But regardless, my opponent played really well and he deserved that 3-0. I made some misplays there, like legitimate actual misclick on the Galvantula, who was choice locked. Not bringing in Weavile on turn 2 when it was my best way of getting rid of some of his bulk on his Porygon and his Gastrodon and his Jirachi, especially when I learned it wasn't Scarf. So I definitely could have played better there, but we are now 2-2 on the season, looking to bounce back and get better. As long as we stay at least around 500 or above 500, we have a pretty good chance of getting into the playoffs. And in all of our losses, if we can keep them close, that'll help our differential, keeping us around neutral on that differential. So I wasn't, this isn't too bad for us. A 3-0, it could have been worse. It could have been 4-0. I could have made it closer, but it's all right. We'll get them next time. So congrats to my opponent on the win. That is week 4. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, make sure you can stay up to date on all of our matches in the LDL this season. But for now, this is Zemanon and the New Haven Charizards signing off. We will see you next time.